since it's such a nice day, I thought I'd bring the car out and get it cleaned up, and I'd like to do a little tour of it. Just some background: I bought it in August of last year, 2016, from a guy close to my hometown. Just a local car for sale. He's known in the cobalt world, at least locally, and the car looked pretty clean in the pictures. I called and talked to him, and was pretty happy with what I was hearing. So I thought I'd come check out the car, and I ended up buying it. So I've had it since August. I don't drive it in the wintertime. I've got my pickup, as you already probably know. So I'd pull this out when it's nice out, and hopefully I'll drive it most of summer. That's the plan. So I'd like to do just a brief overview of the whole car. I'd like to do performance stuff, exterior, interior, and if there's other stuff that people are curious about, I'd be more than willing to make more videos about it specifically. But for now, I'll start with the exterior. As you can tell, it's black. It's 2009 Cobalt SS LNF. I guess we'll do the obvious. We'll do the wheels. So they're Enki or Enkai RPF ones, 18x8s, and I don't know the offset for sure. I've looked it up before, but I don't remember what it is. It fits the car pretty well. The backs fit real nice. I'm pretty happy with how it stands, how the stance is, but go into more detail about how I want to raise the back, just because I don't know. Not terrible, and obviously it's worse when you have more people in there, but it's a little too impractical. But back to the wheels, Enki RPF ones. The back, the Bridgestone, what is it now? G4 Sports Comp 2s, and they usually stay in the back. The fronts, we got Toyo Proxes R888s, so it's an R compound tire. I have had them in the rain, and surprisingly stable. I wasn't too worried about them, and they're just new. I put them on in September, so we'll see how they do and as they wear. And then, of course, the suspension is BC Racing coilovers. The fronts, I did raise them a decent amount in the front, but the back. So the previous owner didn't like how the ride was with the shocks that were provided. So he took out the shocks and put back the stock shocks, but left the lowering springs in them. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is put iBox sport lines in the back and keep the BCs in the front, just because I do like the adjustability for camber and the compression adjustments. So that's the plan for now. We'll see how that goes. It does have aftermarket headlights and taillights. Probably turn on the lights. It does have full exhaust, of course. ZZP downpipe, catless, and then a 3-inch custom stainless steel made. But we'll go up to the front. They are retrofits made by a Cobalt guy on Facebook. They are a D2S by the Retrofit Source, bi-xenon, and then switchblade or switchback turn lights, and then there's a ring or whatever you want to call them. They're white when the parking lights are on, and then they change to amber. And then also HIDs for the fog lights. I don't know the brand. I think they're knockoffs, but they still work, so I'm okay with that. So that's about it for the exterior. Custom taillights, like I said. I'll turn on the lights and see if we can see them. We should be able to see the backs, but I don't know about the fronts. I guess I can turn on the fogs, maybe. See, there's a ring around the outside of both the reverse light and the tail light. LED, of course, in the middle, and then the LED third brake. It's really, really bright at night, which I really like, but it's kind of hard to see in the daytime. I stand in the sun, you can kind of see them. I'll turn on the hazards, that might help. At least you could see the change. I really like the lights. Of course, I have retrofits in my truck as well, and it really is one of my favorite things you can do to a vehicle, especially with cars that don't have such good headlights from the factory. It really pays off at night, and just it's kind of like the finishing touch, I think, of an exterior. Those nice lights. So I guess we'll do interior now. It's very, very stock. I did put the WeatherTech floor mats in there. Wow, I just cleaned it this morning. That's how bad it is. Both sides, back seat, stock. Seats are stock, of course. A stock head unit, but it does have aftermarket speakers, image dynamics. The front's here, and then I got a Polk audio subwoofer, and then Rofer Vasgate amplifier, and then I guess I could go in the trunk and show you that, but everything else, besides the gauges, I guess, I have an air-fuel ratio, and then interceptor air force. Man, that's hard to see. Again, if people want to ask anything specific about any of this stuff, I'd be willing to make more in-depth videos. But interforce air receptor, I love that gauge. It's really awesome. I usually keep it on oil temperature and intake temperature after the intercooler. So I guess we could do, the shifter is a TWM short throw with an M1 Abrams ball. Pretty happy about that. Of course, no goofy lights. I did buy tire pressure monitors for the wheels because that was driving me crazy. Yeah, if I put the brake off and put the seatbelt on, no lights are on. But the miles are, let's see, 77,507. So not a whole lot, but I do plan on driving the car a decent amount. So we'll see how it really ends up this year as far as miles put on the car, because I do put on quite a bit on my truck too. So open the hood and then look at the trunk real quick. I guess I could turn off the lights, but so the Polk audio sub is fitted in the OEM box, or whatever you want to hold it, whatever it's held in by. And then right there's the amp, and of course it's close to the battery, but sometimes I worry about not having a spare, but I don't know, just kind of forget about it, I guess. And as far as performance, that's where the car really shines. It is a stock block, stock head, but it does have stage 2 cams from ZZP, and then also a cam lobe for fuel. It runs on E85. All the bolt-ons pretty much from ZZP, so it has upper and lower charge pipes. Probably saw the intercooler from ZZP as well. An AM intake. Not my favorite, but it's okay. I would like to change it eventually, but for now it's fine. GM Stage 2 sensors, of course. It was dyno tuned by ZZP. It also has a 6758 EFR turbo, so not a stock turbo. I guess you can call it a big turbo. That's what people seem to call it, but 6758. I'm pretty happy. The car makes, it was dyno tuned by ZZP. The car makes 440 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque. And also has lower trans mounts from ZZP as well. Stock engine mounts, I believe. So it was what I found. And also, so I bought the car. Ooh, probably don't like that. But I bought the car, and then I think it was 3 weeks ago, or 3 weeks after I bought the car, I was getting some trans noise, and it was shifting fine, but it was making quite a bit of just a metal on metal noise when you shift or when you go through the gears accelerating. So I took the trans out myself. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I ended up sending it to the guys at Performance Auto Works, or Works Performance, or whatever you want to call it, Works Racing. And I did a stage 2 build with them. It ended up being the countershaft bearing went out in the trans, and it started to eat away, of course, the bearing, and then also the where it sits in the case. So I had to get a new case half, but I ended up just doing the stage 2. So basically it's a full rebuild plus it's called cryo treating, or cryo treating, and WPC treated. Basically it's a process to harden the gear train, or it hardens all the gears in the transmission, so it shifts unbelievably smooth. It's unbelievable. It's worth a lot there, but also just it's rated for a lot of power and a lot of torque. So I just kind of believed in doing it once and then being done with it. So it was not cheap, but I do think it's worth it, just because I had that security and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Also, it does have an FX400 Clutchmaster's clutch, and then a Findanza flywheel, lightweight. So it's definitely not a stock driving clutch. I had to get used to it. It's not too bad, but you know, you just gotta always be on your toes and be aware of what's going on. And it really is hard to drive smooth, especially with the trans mounts. So I mean, it feels more like a race car, more or less, but I'm used to it. I enjoy it. If I had to drive it every day, I might think differently. But as of now, I enjoy the car. So let's see if we'll do an exhaust. The car also has that's a borla. I think it's a borla muffler. And then of course no cats. So it's not too loud. It sounds pretty good. It's pretty calm. You don't hear a lot of turbo spool up or spool down. I mean, you can hear obviously when the wastegate opens with the bypass valve, but yeah, like I said, anything more you want to know about, I'd be happy to make videos. Thanks for watching.